Let me unmute myself. That would be great, isn't it? So I am frazzled today. So I do need today's guest to make me fabulous, so that by end of this interview, I think I will be fab. Have you ever noticed we all have 24 hours in the day? This is not a news, it's a fact, and we all know that. However, some of us seem to get things done, or maybe some of you can get things done on time, and not complain about it. I am one of those people who do get frazzled all the time. And also I can be labeled as, now I'm labeling myself as, labeling myself, that's a keyword, right? As recovering procrastinator. We procrastinate, we give all these excuses, how much ever genuine they are. We give excuses because we can't manage the time. I'm not telling that is you. I'm telling that has been me, in certain situations, and I still do it. There are some things which we don't like, especially the accounts, the paperwork. There are some things we really need to do. Call a bank or call someone to get the lead. Send them a form, send them the invoice. All of this does count onto it. So today's guest, Claudia, her business is Frazzled to Fabulous, which is a brilliant name, I would say. And she is, I spoke to her about a month ago. That's when a couple of months ago, rather. That's when I knew her, because I was in another group and I put a post saying, oh, I would need accountability partner. Don't get me wrong here. I need an accountability partner who would keep me online. And she answered. And then I found out she just lives down the road from me. Not that down the road, literally. She lives in Scotland, just a few miles away from me. So, and then I realized she would be the great guest, because we all struggle. We all struggle with time, even though we know how to manage it. We know how there are some tools which we use it every now and then. So that's what we are going to see. And let me read a little bit about herself, and then I will let her talk. Claudia Romero is a wife, mom of 3 boys, 2 with special needs, and I don't know how she manages. And then on top of it, she's got a cat, which is another amazement to me. Not that I don't trust her, it's me. And I was like, I don't have any kids, I don't have any pets, but I still struggle with it. And Claudia was running 2 businesses for a while, so she knows what it means to juggle things around, but also knows life should not be only stress and overwhelm. Isn't that clear? We all think we need that. She is confident she can help you and us with all the troubles, helping you to be in control, be more organized, and stop procrastinating. Okay, that's what got me there. And procrastination leads to frustration. I can say that. And feeling guilty about not achieving. That's always my middle name, I think, guilty. And to get things done. Now let me bring Claudia on the screen. Hopefully I will get this right. Thank you very much, Claudia. I've been frazzled all day, all this morning, because of US election. I blame it on that, but it's nothing to do with me. I was up till late watching the results of the US elections. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on the show. So tell us about yourself and how you got into this. How did you? I mean, I know, I want guests to know how you got into this, and what are the 2 businesses which you've been running? That's also inclusive.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and very grateful for this opportunity to reach your audience as well, because I know that it is a topic that sometimes we don't want to mention too much, to recognize that we are struggling, that we are overwhelmed, that we don't manage things in the 24 hours that we have. And it is a common thing that I've been recurring hearing. So basically, you mentioned that I have three boys. Yes, I have for 15, 14, and 11-year-old boys. And one has very complex needs. So he's disabled. He doesn't do
Yeah.
anything for himself. And I am the full carer of him as well. And my eldest son has a form of autism. It is the high functioning one. So sometimes he has his days that he struggle and he's hyper, and he has one of the traits is that he argues and argues, and sometimes he gets into trouble with teachers because he argues too much.
Yeah.
So that needs to be assessed as well, to bring him a little bit more centered, more grounded and calm. So all that therapies as well I have to run at home with him. So
I mean,
in
those
part,
therapies would be useful to anyone.
yeah, and
Share some of it to us.
and to be honest, I have learned quite a lot as well, because you have to
Yeah.
choose the battles that you deal and say, well, this is not important and this is really important, so I deal with this. So you have the choice all the time. The 24 hours that you have choice to do or not do something. And you choose to sit down and procrastinate, or you choose to take action although you don't want to do something, but you know
Yeah.
you have to do it. It is your choice if you start doing something or if you don't. So basically, and as you mentioned, I was running a business in clothing for special needs people. So I was
Mm.
managing a production. I was the owner of the business. So I had to deal with clients, with internal clients, external clients, employees, the production team, to check the quality of garments and
Yeah.
everything, because it was a small company. But the thing was that we don't, because my husband and I, we don't have family here in Scotland. So we had to be very mindful of our jobs and our times to deal with every single thing that is happening. Because
Yeah.
we have a special need child, um, sometimes unexpected thing happen. So you have to have in place a plan that
Yeah.
compensate your absence at work. So I need to trust in my team to do the things and run without me.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that many business owners, especially small business owners, don't do. You have to
I
start to
agree with you.
trust in your team, because if something happened and you need to step out, the company doesn't go down. It keeps running and
It's
it keeps
also the
going.
challenge. I agree with you on that point. Maybe you'll be touching this later. That always we don't have a team. Many of us run solopreneurs. Many of us don't have a team, especially uh, now. I don't have a team. I used to have a couple of teams, but I don't have a team as such. How how do we plan our absence? How can we plan our absence in that case?
The main thing is to be successful in business, and this is something that you are going to hear from many of the top leaders. You
Yeah.
need to have support from others. You cannot run a
Mm,
business only by yourself. And
yes.
that doesn't mean that you have to have employees. but you can have
Uh-huh.
collaborators. You can have, for example, freelancers. That counts. So, for example, uh, my weakness, it is all the social media and social media things. So I rely in someone else to create posts and schedule and everything. So when I
Ah,
cannot be there doing the things because I had to be in the hospital, I can call her and say, I need 5 posts more, and you can do it. So you have to start to outsource and delegate those tasks that it takes you a lot of time, of your own time, that don't move you forward as quickly as you want, and it takes, and actually it costs you more than outsourcing that task. So I
mm,
am a believer on delegation, and that is not only for business, is at home as well. You are not married, you don't have a partner, you don't have kids, and but many solopreneurs have their business running with a family, and they have to
yeah.
juggle family situations, not as
Mm,
complex as my family situation, but they are overwhelmed because they feel guilty that they are not spending enough time with their children because they are trying to grow the business, but because they are thinking in their children when they're supposed to be working, they are not growing the business. So delegate
yeah.
at home as well. You can delegate chores to your children because the house is not only yours, it is
Yeah.
our home. So they should be playing a part on that. And this is one thing that I stress a little bit, a lot with my clients,
Yeah. Mm,
because they believe, and in part is true, that you can do the things quicker and better in the home, for example.
mm,
But if you don't give them the chance to do things, they are never going to learn, and they are not going to be able to work or help you in the
yeah.
house. And when you stop doing every single thing for every single one and you put yourself the last, you will see that you improve your quality of life, and every single thing start to run a little bit smoother because your
Mm,
mood is better, because you are not doing everything, because you are putting some task in others people. Eh,
ah.
you have to all the time, as business owner, you have to know what is happening, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe you are going to change, um, for example, outsourcing to other people, and
Mm-hmm.
then you are going to be sure which is your best fit, but it's a trial and error, and you have to be doing that. So if
Mm,
someone doesn't uh, move your business forward, it's time to change. But you don't have to be doing all the things yourself alone. Maybe at that first stage of care, of course, and you have to understand your business, and that gives you the capability to understand each part of the business, the planning, the marketing, the finances, the sales, and everything. But then play your part where you are stronger and delegate the other things,
yeah.
because that it will grow your business, because there are
Yeah.
people, for example, more capable to do the sales calls, and they are going to bring more people that you doing it, because you have a certain amount of time to doing it,
Yeah.
because you have to
Yeah.
do another things. You cannot be all the time only doing sales calls. If you have to do the finance, the social media posting, and dealing with providers, for example. So you have
Mm,
to see where your time is most cost effective.
okay. So you you say you gave us three tips already. if I could put it on. So first, find out what your weaknesses are and which are draining your time more, and get people to do it. So the second one is delegation. Delegate it to people. And the third one, which I am typing, plan ahead.
Of course,
It's
that is a key. You have to plan
yeah,
ahead. And you have
yeah,
also to dump things that doesn't give you any results. We tend to think, maybe I will need it later on, or maybe this is important. And sometimes it's not important if it's not creating anything
yeah.
um, to your business or to your life. Just eliminate it
Mm.
of your life. Just eliminate it, dump it, bye bye,
Yeah,
because otherwise it start to stress you because it's sitting down there.
yeah. The fourth one is be very strategic on what helps. What is the result I am going to get when I do this? So there may be situation. I like this one. I really like. I am a strategist, and I do whatever I do. I always have a thinking that whether it's going to add value or is it going to reduce my efficiency. So sometimes this happens to us a lot. We think it is really necessary, might not be now, but in a longer term. How do you prioritize these tasks which we think is not adding value today, but it will add value? For great example is social media posts. Social media posts may not add value today, but it will add value um, 2 months time, 3 months time. So how do you justify that? How do you justify your time doing that?
The main thing is, of course, marketing is one of the key of any business, because otherwise you
Hmm.
don't get clients, and if you don't get clients, you don't produce money anyway. But the
Yeah.
thing is, you shouldn't take that long doing postings, because you can plan
Mm,
and sit down, for example, for one day or a couple of hours, like 3-4 hours, to plan the whole content for 1 month and post a schedule, because they are a lot of automatization tools, and they are like Facebook has their own scheduling post, so you can do that in advance, so you don't have to worry. And at
mm,
least you have one post, you know that one post a day is coming out. But if
mm,
you don't plan that and you are posting each day and doing the post each day, you will see, instead of taking 3 hours to plan all the content and doing it and scheduling, you are taking and eating like 1 hour or 2 hours of your day each day. So that is
mm.
not efficiency.
Yeah.
Also, I always recommend, because solopreneurs tend to see the things in a way. For example, and I am guilty of this as well. Sometimes I believe, oh, this is a great handout. It looks perfect. It looks great. It looks nice. But that is my own opinion. So you always have to have the feedback of someone else that is outside the business, that can give you a fresh view of what you are doing, because
Mm,
otherwise you are in a rabbit hole sometimes, or in a hole that you perceive the things different, and sometimes we get stressed because we are not moving, and sometimes it's so easy that someone else, a new pair of eyes, say, why you don't tweak this, and it's like click and you move forward. So any
yeah.
sport person, any artist or whatever, have a coach or have someone that guides and can give feedback. Business owners should have their own coaches as well, or a collaboration that can keep you on track, be
Yeah.
accountable, and
Hmm.
have another perspective, because otherwise you are not going to grow, or it's going to happen. You are going to grow, but at smaller, or yeah, a
It
smaller
might
rate
not be
pace.
faster. It
Exactly.
might not be faster. But someone would disagree with that fact that I don't want to grow fast. This excuse I get all the time, and I see where you're coming from with the automation. And when I suggest them have a coach or mentor, and their excuses, I don't need a coach. I know what I'm doing, or even don't want an accountability partner because I've got to be accountable to myself. But thinking, um,
That in
so
my
what would
experience
you
as
say to
well,
them?
and you don't grow quicker if you don't have support. It can take time, and if you are
Hmm.
fine with that, fine, but don't complain that you are not growing. And that is the key thing. You are going to grow, maybe, but it's going to take you, like, instead of, for example, 2 years, it may take you 5. And you are going to
Mm,
be deflated, and you are going to hit your head against the wall saying, why is not working? If
yeah,
I'm doing the right step, I'm doing the right things, but I'm not getting the results that I wanted. The why is because each and every single entrepreneur, each and every single business owner, each and every single, these huge moguls out there have a team and have mentors and have coaching and have their own support. They don't do the
yeah,
things alone because it's more difficult. It is tricky. I'm not saying that you have to hire the high performance coach, the better,
yeah,
but someone that keeps you accountable, because when you share something, you are
yeah,
more committed to do it. If you say, I'm going to do this, maybe
mm,
it's not going to happen, because we start to procrastinate. I can do that tomorrow, and I can do that next week. And then a month happen and you don't get that.
yeah. So it is more of going farther rather than going faster as well, isn't it? When you have a coach, there is a Buddhist saying that if you want to go faster, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. That also makes sense. Like if we have someone, we would go further. That means we would be going faster further as well, in a way. Because we've got our own acceleration, and we've got someone else's acceleration as well. So that's a very good point. People sometimes say, this is just me being devil's advocate. I've heard this all the time, is that I don't compete with others. I don't compete, but I always say, even if you don't have to compete, but having a competition will take you further, move you further. That is also a point. Have you come across that? How can we use that? Can we use it, is a question. Or how can we use it in managing our time and increasing our productivity?
I don't see that it is an issue.
Hmm.
Collaboration and competition are very fundamental parts of growing. If you don't
Yes,
have
I agree with you.
anyone, if you don't have anyone to look and try to be like them, that they are ahead of you, you will not learn many things, so you don't grow. It doesn't mean that you have to share all your tricks and secrets, but having reference to other business more or less in your area will help you to improve your own message. will help you to be better. It is like sports.
Yeah.
The people compete not only to beat someone else, they
Yeah.
compete to beat their own record, the past record.
Yeah.
So competition is there and should be there, because otherwise you're not going to grow, you're not going to be moving forward, and you're going to be always in the same place. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
comfortable place, but
Uh-huh.
then you cannot complain that you are not moving and you are not getting the results that you want.
Yes.
You need to compete to yourself and be better than the last year, and doing things differently, and eh, check what you did and what give you results and what didn't give you results, to change. Because if you keep doing the same thing once and other, you're going to get the same results one and another time. It's a fact that I'm not I'm not saying anything new here. It is, if you keep doing the same thing every single day, you are going to get the same results every single day. So if you want to
Ooh.
change, if you want to get other results, you need to change.
Yeah, that is another biggie, isn't it? Change. We scare change, and it happens anyway. But I don't know why we fear the change. Even if you don't want to, it happens. So the your 6 tips as such is: find your weaknesses, delegate your not good strong tasks, plan ahead, be strategic, automate, and have a coach. So which one do you think of these would be the most important? They should be thinking about it now. They should start thinking, okay, I need to think about this now.
The key for me is planning ahead and planning every single thing. Because if you
Mm,
have a roadmap, a road trip, you know exactly what you have to do, and
hmm.
put it in the different scenarios as well. So life can happen. I didn't ask
Yeah.
for having a disabled child,
Yeah.
but also that means that I don't have to stop doing everything and focus only in one thing. My life is still
Yeah.
my life. So I have to put myself first to give others. Because if you
Mm,
put yourself last, you're going to burn out and you're not going to be able to give anything to anyone. So
mm.
you need time for yourself, you need time to plan, you need time to move. So the
Yeah.
main thing is stop overloading your days. We feel that if
Mm.
we don't overload our agenda or our diary, we are not doing enough. But doing that, it is burning yourself, because you are not going to be able to fulfill or uh, check out all the things that you have in your diary, and you will have to move things to the next day, and then your next day is already packed, and you're filling it with the things that you are dragging from other past days. So
Yes.
never, ever, ever overload your days. Give
Yeah.
yourself always time to you to wind down, to do something you like, because in that way you are going to be able to give more. So
Yeah.
basically, you need to focus in three biggies things each day.
Yeah,
And
you
if
you
you
do that
feel,
in your course as well, don't you? You do
yes, yes,
when they come on your course. Yeah. Okay.
and if you clear out that things for that day,
Yeah.
you can move from task that you have for the next day to the day before, but never
Yeah.
drag things from one day to the other, because otherwise you are going to pile up, and clutter yourself with tasks that you haven't finished. And then is when the overwhelm kicks, and then is when we start to procrastinate more. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that knowing yourself and your energy levels
Mm.
and how you work, your inner energy, how it works, will help you to set the tasks you need to focus them more when your energy levels are higher. It doesn't make any sense to push to do a task when you're tired, because you are going to take double the time to
Double the
finish
time.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time. I think if I had to take away one thing from the you've given so many golden nuggets. One thing forward, I would go with what you said just now. Don't overload your days, and I do have tendency to overload my days. Um, and I recently I've noticed that I am lot more energetic during the morning than in the evening. Also, we've got other things to do in the evening as well, isn't it? So I think these two would be my nuggets to take away for this. Anyway, people, Claudia is giving us so many nuggets, and I'm trying to stop her now, before, because I'll be here all day and picking her brains. It's very important to know yourself first as well.
Yeah.
So, the key takeaway from Claudia is plan ahead and don't overload. That would be my takeaway as well for this. If you have got some takeaways, please do drop in and say this is my takeaway. That would be great. And before I ask you about your business in further detail, and you've got your few summit coming or a week with experts coming, but I want to know. I know I cut you off when you were telling us about the business. I got really, when you said team, we don't have a team, so I cut you off there. So I want to take you back there and ask you, what why did you want to do this instead of those two businesses which you wound down? The one could be because it was too overwhelming to have kids and also look at the production. And what was the important point where you decided people need to know about this?
The main thing was that sadly the other business I had to close it, not because I didn't like to continue, but because we went to meetings with a big company, no, in UK, to collaborate and to put
Yeah,
our products in their uh, stores. But
stores.
then, yeah, but they went, uh, how do you say, missing, in a
Oh, okay.
nice term.
In action.
They didn't,
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't answer the emails or calls or anything.
Oh no.
And after 1 month, they launched their own uh, range
Oh,
of
that's
clothing. Yeah.
oh no, that's really, I hate people do that. And I've got few stories like that as well. And I don't know why people do that.
And
You
then
don't have to.
it is a big company, so I don't want to
Yeah.
mention, but it's not
Yeah,
the
that's
first
okay.
time that they have done this to smaller
Uh
productions
yeah.
businesses. So they offer the clothing so much cheap that we couldn't compete only with the adults line of clothings, because our main customer base were children, and they launched the children area, and we couldn't compete, and it wasn't cost effective for us to keep running.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
because I studied financial management, I decided to close that uh, business. And in between the last part of that business, I started to move into organization because many moms outside the school gates ask me how I managed to do everything, running the house
Yeah.
without family abroad, because my family lives abroad, my husband family lives abroad. We don't have any support here, and having
Yeah.
children with special needs and how I manage everything. And they were very perplexed and always asking me how I managed to always have time for me as well and
Yeah.
to give back to the school. So I decided to help people in organizing things and decluttering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I started in the decluttering area, more or less. But then my passion was into make the most of your day and have time for you and not feeling guilty and clear your to-do list. So I
Yeah.
started to help people on that, and that went really well. So then I rebranded this year because I have a coach myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I rebranded on Frazzled to Fabulous because women tend
Yeah.
to feel guilty of not getting enough time with their partners or their children or at work, because it is amazing, but mainly when you are working on your business, you are thinking in the shopping list, in the school run, or anything. And when you are with your kids, you start to think in the business. And when you are with your husband, you start to think in your family. And it is a never ending story, and that is
Yes.
overwhelming and stressful. So if you focus, and this is a very easy example, when you were at school and you were in a math class, you were doing math, you weren't doing geography, you weren't doing English, you weren't doing Spanish or physics or science, you were doing math. So when
Yeah.
you are in your business doing business work, focus in that. Do not
Yeah.
focus in the things that you have to do at home later. If an idea or something pop in your head, write it down, and that's it. Leave it
That's a good.
and focus in your work. When you are with your children, focus on your children. Be with them. Be present, even though it's half an hour. Give them your attention and not checking emails and not checking social media. Be with them. They are going to say thank you because you are
Yeah. That
spending
should.
time with them.
Yeah. That always people think that they won't notice, or they're not bothered. But when our focus switches, and we others can see it so clearly that we've lost their attention, we've lost the focus and thinking about someone else, and they felt left out. They might not able to voice out, but they do feel left out, that we are not with them. That is a very, very good advice, on many counts, not just in
and
business,
and
in
not
family
only
and in personal life as well.
and not only them will feel
Yeah.
left out, you will feel guilty after
Yeah.
when you go to bed and you say, oh my god, I was checking
I
social
should have
media
said
and
that.
he was trying to tell me something. I should. And
Yeah.
then it's the guilty thought is going to be on your mind all the time,
Yes.
and you will
That
feel
happens all the
miserable.
time.
So,
Oh
and
yeah. That's.
the other short thing that I wanted to do, or say actually, in that area, is that you need time for yourself. Always, every single day, at
Yeah.
least half an hour, uh, something for yourself, and not catching up on task, and be present with yourself, mindful with yourself, because that way you are going to be more happy. And you, when you are happy, most of the things around you
Yeah.
run smoothly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's happiness is, and that relaxation is, has got a dominoes effect. uh, Samantha talked about it last week. If you have not seen Samantha's video, I will put the link to Samantha's video. She is happiness coach, and she talks about this mindfulness in detail. So you can follow her things as well. It's supposed to be Claudia's day.
It doesn't matter.
Darshita is saying, that was a shameless plug for Sam. Darshita is saying, great topic, believe it or not. I was under so much stress last week when I had to launch my new collection. Darshita has got her own collection of outerwear. It is because certain things didn't go well as per my plan and other things taking priority, but glad to hear you guys out. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much. I've been picking Claudia's. She's given so much already. So, Claudia, tell us a little bit. We are already 43 minutes in. Um, Tell us a little bit about your event. Do you have any offers coming or events coming in next few weeks?
Well, next week I have a free event where I'm teaming in collaboration with other 4 speakers, and we are going to talk about mindset and many things that you have to develop before,
Yeah.
or not before, but if you want to grow as a business owner or of business person, you will need to understand yourself first,
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
way you can change things to move faster and forward easily. And it is going to be amazing, because there is one person that talk about the self-saboteur, and we all have that voice that is saying you are not
Yeah.
enough or it's not going to work. So how we can change that. And also another one that it is talking about how you put yourself first as well to shine and make the needle move forward as well.
Move forward.
Yeah. And the end of the week is about vision board, and how a vision board can sustain and help you with your goal setting
Yeah.
achievements. And I will
Clarity.
talk, I
Clarity in
will, yeah,
sessions.
I will be talking about more or less this topic, but be clear on your goals and what is your purpose, so you can move your business a little bit quicker as well. And that is a free
Ooh.
event next week in my free
On your
group,
page.
on my no,
Mhm.
on my group, but
Okay.
the lives are going to be there for only 1 week. But if you subscribe, you can see the replays on YouTube whenever you want, and you will have the handouts of the sessions. And I am offering after that, well, there will be prizes as well. So it's going to be very exciting. Also, after that week, I will offer an online course that is Express One, so you don't want to miss it.
Oh, that's
And
cool. So
it's the best
we need
thing
to
to,
be on the
yeah, sorry, it is the best thing to kickstart your business for the next year, because um, we want it or not, online businesses are coming to stay. It is more than not product, but we need to change how we deal online more than in presence. So yeah.
yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. And before we go, I want to ask you three rapid fire questions, maybe. So, are you a morning or evening person?
Evening. I'm a night owl. I don't work well in the mornings, and that's why in the morning I tend to do the things that doesn't involve me thinking or being productive. I do the things that
Okay.
comes automatically.
What is your best getaway place? or favorite getaway place? Like if you need to go away, where would you go?
That is one thing. I will say that I'm a beach person per se, but my husband is a mountain person. So we get in the middle into a lake with a beach, with forest.
That's brilliant. That's a good compromise, actually. I
Yeah.
I, I like that. I like that. Are you a book person or video or a TV, that kind of person?
Um, Both, but because English is not my first language, I read uh, a little bit slower in English. I read a lot of
Ah,
books, but I prefer, and sometimes I prefer to watch TV. So I have, knowing myself, I have my week that I'm more less productive. So I binge watch my series, but any another week I don't see or watch TV at all. So
oh, you're my friend. I am the same. I take time out and then watch everything back to back, like it's going out of fashion. And then week, I won't even go near
exactly,
the TV.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Are you going to put your group details so that if people want to join your group?
I will put the linked to the event and the group link as well. Yeah,
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for coming. And I was thinking, okay, it's going to be a short one, but it's never a short one for me. Thanks a lot, and thanks for giving us so much tips. Oh my God, so much tips on how to manage our time and really getting to know ourselves as well. There's a more business and personal elements in this. It's not just all business, and we need to manage our time, even our personal. So thank you very much, and I'm going to take you off and finish off this show.
no problem.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Bye bye.
Nice, thanks. So you heard Claudia. It is time management. We don't want to accept that we are wasting our time. We do feel guilty when we don't use time effectively, and also when we are not productive, but we don't voice it out, but that sits in our subconscious mind, and it really compounds itself. And one day, and we find out and thinking, what, where am I now? Why did I not use it properly? Time is one commodity. Once lost, we cannot gain it back again. So go watch the lives which Claudia is putting up. That's a good lineup. I know a couple of people in the lineup of 5 days with Claudia in her group. Go watch that. And also, if you want to work with her, just let her know that you want to work with her, and she would be able to accommodate you. That's all I've got to share with you today. And next week with another expert, I will be live. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.